If you're shopping for a high-end motherboard, you've probably come across the ASRock X870E Nova WiFi, boasting beastly specs and bold claims about unmatched performance. But here's what surprised me. It's not all sunshine and rainbows with this flagship board, and some serious issues could make you think twice before hitting that buy button. Stick around because I'll dive deep into the strengths, the weaknesses, and the real-world quirks that ASRock conveniently glosses over. By the end, you'll know exactly whether this Nova really lives up to its explosive hype, or if it's just a supernova that fizzles out too fast. First off, if you're a gamer, content creator, or extreme PC enthusiast pushing AMD Ryzen 7000 series chips to their limits, this board seems like a dream come true on paper. With its 20+2+1 power phase digital design, 5 M.2 slots, dual USB 4 Type-C ports, and the promise of Wi-Fi 7, it ticks all the boxes for future-proofing. But yes, there's always a but. Many users report frustrating bugs, questionable build choices, and some downright baffling design decisions that hold back this $500+ powerhouse. Let's unpack why you might want to look elsewhere or at least hold off for now. Stay tuned because the story of this motherboard is more dramatic than a LAN party when the Wi-Fi drops mid-match. Digging into the specs, the X870E Nova is designed to unleash the full potential of AMD's latest CPUs. It features a hefty 23-power phase design with 110A SPS MOSFETs, which theoretically means rock-solid voltage delivery for stable overclocking under heavy loads. Plus, the inclusion of a PCIe 5.0 x16 slot ensures your graphics card or future storage devices get maximum bandwidth. Combine this with 4 DDR5 DIMM slots capable of supporting high-frequency RAM, and you've got a board seemingly built for speed and durability. However, despite these impressive claims, feedback from the community points out that the advertised power phase design doesn't always translate into tangible benefits. Some users notice voltage irregularities when pushing their Ryzen 7900X or 7950X chips, resulting in less than optimal overclocking headroom. This is ironic, considering the superpower branding ASRock continuously flaunts. It's like buying a Ferrari with a Hyundai engine, looks the part but doesn't quite deliver on performance. Now, don't get me wrong, the motherboard handles daily tasks and mid-tier gaming without hitch. Yet, if you're all about squeezing every megahertz out for competitive benchmarks or rendering, this board might leave you scrambling. One standout feature is the premium complement of 5 M.2 slots, including 1 Gen 5 and 3 Gen 4 SSD connectors, alongside a Gen 3 for less demanding drives. This makes it a dream for hardcore storage enthusiasts who juggle multiple blazing fast NVMe SSDs. The toolless multi-layer M.2 heatsink is a thoughtful inclusion, helping keep those drives cool during extended heavy loads. No small feat when pushing 5,000 MBs or more. Yet there's a catch, because while the heatsinks are easy to install, they sometimes don't make perfect contact with all SSD models, which can cause thermal throttling on certain high-end drives. This inconsistency could ruin your day if you rely on constant peak performance during 4K video editing or massive data transfers. On the connectivity front, the dual USB 4 Type-C ports stand out, offering up to 40 Gbps transfer speeds, which is fantastic for future-proofed peripherals and docks. The inclusion of 5 Gbps LAN alongside a newer 5 GBE connector and Wi-Fi 7 support aims to keep you perfectly networked, whether wired or wireless. But here's the twist. Wi-Fi 7 technology is still very much in its infancy, and several users have reported flaky connections or driver compatibility issues out of the box. For those expecting plug-and-play miracles, it might feel more like you're beta testing rather than enjoying a polished gaming platform. Plus, this is where the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi becomes a perfect example of bleeding-edge tech falling victim to premature release. The ALC4082 audio codec also claims to deliver high-fidelity sound, with its hyper-streaming design targeting audiophiles and gamers alike. Listening tests reveal that while the tonal clarity is solid, there's a noticeable background noise floor creeping in when using sensitive headphones. This means you may want to invest in an external DAC if you're serious about crisp audio for streaming or sound design. It's a bit of a letdown given that sound quality is often overlooked but crucial for immersive experiences. Now, let's talk about the board layout. One area where the X870E Nova truly shines is its easy release design for M.2 slots, making SSD installation and removal much more convenient than wrestling with tiny screws. But on the flip side, the motherboard's aesthetics rough edges can't be ignored. The plastic shrouds feel less premium compared to competitors like ASUS or MSI, and the RGB lighting implementation is minimal and slightly uninspired. If you're a gamer who cares about the bling factor as much as performance, you might be underwhelmed. It almost feels like someone tried to shout supernova, but forgot the sparkle and flair to go with it. Now, I promised you a dose of honesty, so let's highlight some of the reported software issues. The Phantom Gaming UEFI BIOS interface has been criticized for being unintuitive and buggy, especially when tweaking advanced settings. Some users experience freezing or crashes during BIOS updates, which is risky territory when you rely on stable firmware to boot your system. Yet, ASRock does regularly release patches, showing they're listening to feedback, but this means you often need to babysit updates, which isn't ideal for folks who just want to build and game. Here comes a fun joke to lighten the mood. Why did the motherboard break up with the CPU? Because it found too many bugs in the relationship. Okay, that's motherboard humor for you. Who exactly should consider the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi? If you're a tech enthusiast or system builder who loves experimenting and tweaking their setup, and you want cutting-edge connectivity options with multiple NVMe bays, this motherboard can reward your patience. Its raw spec sheet is enviable, and with some BIOS tuning and patience for early adopter quirks, it can perform admirably. But if you're looking for a rock-solid, hassle-free experience right out of the box, or if every second of downtime in an online match makes you break a sweat, this may not be your best pick. But before you scurry off, here's another twist. While initial reports painted the Nova as unstable and buggy, many users report that newer firmware updates have significantly improved stability and performance. This evolving story means you might benefit from waiting a little while longer to see if ASRock can iron out the remaining kinks. As of now, this motherboard sits in a works well but beware of quirks zone. That's a bummer for a product priced in the premium bracket, but it's not a deal-breaker if you know what you're getting into. Storage lovers, here's another thing to consider. The PCIe 5.0 slot is future-proof, but right now, actual Gen 5 SSDs are rare and insanely expensive, so you might get more bang for your buck investing in Gen 4 SSDs, taking advantage of the 4 Gen 4 M.2 slots that this board sports until the technology matures. And trust me, your humble SATA SSD won't feel left out, thanks to the board's solid legacy support. And here's joke number 2 to keep you smiling. What do you call an overclocking motherboard that's shy? A timid board because it never pushes its limits. Okay, I'm done now. One last big question: how's the value proposition? Priced around $500, the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi shares shelf space with some tough competition like ASUS ROG Crosshair X670E Hero and MSI Meg X670E Ace, which typically offer more polished BIOS environments, superior build quality, and after-sales support. Yet the Nova's extra M.2 slots and dual USB 4 ports give it an edge in certain niches. It's a classic case of weighing raw features against refinement. So what's the bottom line? The ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi is a motherboard that impresses with its jaw-dropping specs and future-ready design, but struggles under the weight of reliability and software hiccups. If you love tinkering, want extreme connectivity, and are ready to ride the firmware update roller coaster, this board can be a serious contender. But if you crave stability and seamless user experience right now, you might want to wait until ASRock polishes this supernova or consider competitors that focus more on maturity than bleeding edge. And just to lure you back in with one more laugh, why don't motherboards ever get tired? Because they're always rebooting. All jokes aside, building a PC is a journey, and the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi is a device that rewards the patient builder. As we wrap this honest review, remember this. Technology evolves fast, and the Nova Wi-Fi is definitely an ambitious board aiming to future-proof your build for years to come. It's not perfect, but with ongoing BIOS improvements and solid hardware design, it's growing into a worthy contender for anyone seeking AMD's latest Ryzen platform with maximum expandability. If you're ready to grab the ASRock X870E Nova Wi-Fi for yourself, and see if this motherboard's superpowers fit your build, check the link in the description below for the best price on Amazon. It might just be the powerful beast your next PC needs. Just be prepared to babysit it a little. Thanks for watching and happy building.